Hi, everybody. Welcome. Good morning. I'm so excited to be here with you guys for our class. We have so many new people in our group. We are live streaming over on Facebook and also over on Instagram and on Zoom. So we're in all of the places today. It is so good to see you guys. I was going to do a quick introduction for those of you that are new and new to following me. We've had a lot of new people in the Learning with Dr. Laura Facebook group. I'm Dr. Laura Ricci. I'm a doctor of physical therapy and national board certified health and wellness coach specializing in functional nutrition, women's health, and insulin resistance. And I'm also an essential oil educator and global platinum team leader with doTERRA International. And I want to thank you guys for being here. It's so good to see you. And it seems like you guys are hearing me good. Hi, Claudia. Good morning. Hi over on Insta. Good to see you guys. And if you're watching the replay, welcome to the replay as well. And we do have a giveaway for somebody watching the class over on Facebook. So stay tuned for all the info on how to win and how to enter into that. But this is going to be a really great interactive workshop. So I'd really like you guys to create the time and space to dive into this information. So grab something yummy to drink and a pen and paper or your journal, and we're going to dive deeper into this information. So go to a quiet place, set aside some time for self-care for this for the next hour. And why is it so important that we think about crafting our vision, that we look at our intentions for the new year, all of this stuff? You know, oftentimes we hear that people are doing resolutions this time of year, but did you actually know that it really starts with why? Your why is your anchor, and that's what's going to really ground you and lead you into the new year and following through with your goals and your vision and all of those things that you're working on, which is so important. So and I have a question for you. Have you broken your resolution yet? Did you have a resolution that started on January 1st and then you've broken it? Well, you know what? You're not alone. Did you know that the statistics actually show that 95% of people will break their New Year's resolution by January 15th? That's coming up pretty soon. And I was kind of curious why this is, and I would argue that it's because this resolution is not in touch with this person's big vision and big why. And interestingly enough, I got an email from Natural Grocers today that kind of went along with what we're talking about. By January 18th, they're actually doing this resolution reset day because 100 million people 100 million Americans will drop their New Year's resolution by February. So again, a lot of people, there's a big percentage in that dip, about 95% by January 15th, several 100 million by February. So we want to really come in and support you and have some space for really getting in touch with that bigger why, that bigger vision that makes it more sustainable. Because did you know that the research actually shows that fear is not a motivating factor for us? So even people that have had heart attacks and their doctors told them, hey, you really got to clean up your diet or you could die. Fear is a motivating factor, is only motivating for about 60 to 90 days. That's it. So this is a really important thing to start to look at and go deeper with this. So we often say your why should make you cry. It should be emotional. It's your anchor. And this is why it's so, so important that we know where you're going and we know what your vision is and how do we get there. And this comes from asking the deeper questions and seeing what comes up. So as an example, for New Year's, a lot of people will have a goal of losing weight, right? And that's not really emotional, right? It's kind of like, okay, well, we have this goal of losing weight in the new year, but it needs to evoke an emotion. And because the challenging times will come, right? And we need something that's going to anchor us in and support us during that time. So I start to dig deeper with my private health coaching clients. Well, why do you want to lose weight? Well, I want to be able to fit into different clothes, or I want to feel different. Okay, well, why do you want to feel different? Well, I really want to be able to go on a backpacking trip with my granddaughter through Europe. And I want to have the energy and the endurance to do that. Creating those memories with her granddaughter, that's a very different vision than I want to lose 10 pounds. It evokes emotion. You can visualize it. You can see it. She can be creating these things with her family. So this is so, so important, right? Yes. All the Emily writing. Yes. It's crafting that vision, anchoring into that. And this is what's going to sustain you during those challenging times. So I have a visioning exercise for you. And some of you guys may have done this with me last year. And we're going to do some new stuff in this class this year too. So hang tight. But I would encourage you that even if you've done this visioning exercise with me last year, it changes. It evolves. The things that come up are going to be different. So do this again with us. And again, we want to get into a quiet place. And ideally, you want to get really, really comfortable. This is going to be a guided visioning exercise. This was actually taught to me by my mentor, Dr. Jessica Drummond. And I believe she learned this from her health coaching training with Duke University. But before we get started, if you have an essential oil, I'd really want you to go grab an essential oil. And if you have frankincense, go grab your frankincense, because this is such a powerful oil. This is the oil of truth, and it helps us emotionally with enlightenment and wisdom. So before we get started into that, go grab your frank. If you don't have an essential oil, that's okay too. You're still going to get benefit from this. But I like to actually put it over the third eye. So put a little drop of frank over your third eye, plus frank is so great for your skin anyways. And then I would also put a drop on your hand and rub that together and do a really deep palm inhale. So you're going to cup your hands over mouth and nose. Inhale. Hold it at the top for a second or two, and then blow out. And let's do 3 big belly breath inhales with this. Okay, one more. Okay, good. So we've done our big belly breath inhales with your frankincense, and we are going to work on this visualization and this visualization exercise. So again, get comfortable. For some people, that may actually be lying down. So go lie down. You know, if you get a comfy blanket, you want to really feather your nest, so to speak. And this is going to be a really, really powerful thing to do here. So what you're going to do, if you're sitting in a chair, I want you to ground your feet down, or if you're laying down, just feel fully supported by that chair or by the bed or by the floor. And I want you to go ahead and close your eyes. And we're going to center in. So take a deep breath in and let it go. And when you breathe out, I want you to just release anything that feels heavy or that's heavy on your heart or a burden. Another big breath in and blow it out and let it go. And I want you to do a quick body scan and just notice if you're holding any tension in your head, in your forehead, maybe your jaw, and breathe deeply into those spaces. And see if you can get them to soften and let go and relax a little bit. Maybe check your shoulders, your neck, your torso. Same thing, just deep breaths, letting go, releasing into any areas that you're holding any tension or tightness in. Check your abdomen, breathe deeply into that space, your legs, even all the way down to your toes. Big belly breath in, then release and let go. And I want you to imagine that you're standing on a path, and this path stretches out far, far in front of you and far, far behind you. And this path represents your life up to this point. And just bring some awareness and notice what the path looks like. Where are you? And notice this in as much detail as possible, as if you're actually there. So I want you to hear the sounds that are coming up. I want you to feel the sensations. Maybe you can feel a light breeze on your skin or the warmth of the sunshine. What does it look like? What are the colors like? Do you notice any smells? Any salty sea air or meadow flowers? Even taste. You taste salty sea air from the ocean. Take that all in with as much detail as possible. Notice what you're wearing. Are you by yourself on this path? Is there somebody with you? Maybe you have a beloved pet with you. Again, taking in this scene in as much detail as possible. And I want you to start walking down the path. And as you walk down this path, you start to approach a dwelling. Just notice what the dwelling looks like. Notice what the architecture looks like. Go ahead and walk up to the dwelling, and you're going to knock on the door. And a friendly, familiar face answers the door. And you're surprised, but not surprised to see that it is your most authentic future self. And she greets you with a big hug, and she welcomes you inside. And you take a moment to just notice what it looks like inside this dwelling. What's the furniture like? What's the decor like? Is it just you two? Is there somebody else with you? Are there any smells coming from the kitchen? Again, you're taking in this scene in as much detail as possible. And she has you come and sit with her at the kitchen table and have a cup of tea. And this is your opportunity as you're connecting, again, with your most authentic future self, to ask her in this moment, what is the one thing that I can do for my health and wellness right now? And be open to receiving that answer from her. And it's often very simple. It may be one word. It may be one sentence. But take that in and receive that guidance and that wisdom from your future self. And this is also an opportunity where we're going to hold space in this safe place to ask her any other questions that may weigh heavy on your mind. Maybe you have something big going on in your life right now that feels very heavy or like a burden. Maybe you have a question that you keep going over and over in your mind, that you're looking for a solution. I want you to take this opportunity to ask her that and be open to receiving her wisdom and guidance and the message that she has for you regarding this. I'm going to be quiet for a few minutes and give you some space to have that dialogue. All right, we're going to give her the opportunity, your future self, to finish up any last minute guidance, advice, anything that she needs to share with you. Take that in. And you thank her. You thank your most authentic future self for the guidance, for the support, for the inner wisdom that she has just shared with you. And you give her a big hug. And as you hug her, she starts to dissipate into this bright white healing light that goes directly into your heart, because your most authentic future self is always present and resides in you there. We're going to slowly start coming back into the room, starting to feel yourself grounded. Start to slowly wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take a deep breath in and let it out. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes. Okay, how does that feel to everybody? Did you get some interesting information from your future self? Did something kind of connect or come in? I love this exercise so much. You may notice that you may have an emotional response to this work, and that's okay. I actually think that that's a really good thing. And I want you to take an opportunity now, while this is so clear in your mind, to journal it out. So hopefully you brought a piece of paper and a pen with you. And I want you to journal out this vision that you just had. Okay? So write it down. What did the path look like? Where were you? What did that dwelling look like? Write it down. Write down what your future self looked like. Was she beautiful? Was she you? Was she a more vibrant image of you? Was she healthy? Was she happy? Write that down in as much detail as you can. And then most importantly, write down what that wisdom was that your future self just shared with you. And if you feel comfortable, share with us. You can post below in the comments what that thing was that came up. And it's so good. And I love hearing what your future self says. It's so beautiful. I love hearing these messages. And then I would challenge you, in whatever way feels artistic and creative for you, to really get in tune with this. So that may be you journal it out in great detail, kind of how we're writing it down too. You're kind of writing those things so you don't forget, but journaling that story in great detail. Or maybe you're an artist and you can draw a picture of that, or do a vision board or a Pinterest board with some of those images that you saw. We want to make it real. And one action step that you can do is to start to feel that feeling, right? That you're there, connect with that. Maybe your goal is health and healing this year, and you can actually feel what that feels like in your body, feeling vibrant, feeling energy. When we connect with those feelings, the cool thing is the brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not. And so we can actually change that neuroanatomy a little bit and visualize. This is what Olympic athletes do. They see it in their mind's eye in great detail before that actually happens. And if you can create some space and take just a few minutes to visualize this in the morning when you get up, and then before you go to bed at night, maybe start with 30 seconds. And then you slowly grow there. This is very, very powerful healing tool to do. And also, again, remember that advice that your future self gave you. So finding your anchor, and maybe that's a picture or a picture that you drew. You can keep it on your phone, but I want you to have some type of anchor that you see daily. That could be a necklace. That could be something that you saw. It was funny. I was at the store. This was a couple years ago, and I saw this necklace. And it was little footprints that looked like little footprints in the sand. And it resonated with me, but I couldn't figure out exactly why that was the case. And then I remembered that my vision was actually on the beach, walking in the sand, seeing my footprints in the sand. being healed and running in the sand. And so that really resonated with me strongly. So I got that necklace and I have it actually hanging on my vision board. I see it every morning when I get up. So whatever that looks like for you, that's going to be different, but something that anchors things in and that pulls that in, that you're going to see regularly to help you connect with that emotion and that feeling. And that is very different than setting a goal of, I want to lose 10 pounds or whatever that looks like. So it's connecting with that energy and that feeling. And we're not saying those things are bad, but it's a very different energy and space when you're setting goals for the new year. For example, like maybe you want to drink more water, or maybe you want to take your supplements. And I think a lot of people do these things because they're trying to run away from fear or whatever that is, pain. And it's very different when you're taking supplements to run away from the pain, right? Okay, I'm going to take these because I just want to get out of pain, or I want to get out of whatever's going on. It's a very different space to take those out of love and respect and truly honoring your body. And not trying to change anything, but just showing your body that love and fueling your body with good things. So we shift our mindset a little bit on that, of how can we truly love and support and nourish ourselves from the inside out. And that feels very, very different than I want to lose 10 pounds or, whatever that is. So I challenge you, and that's going to be your first action step, to pull that in a little bit, to visualize, to connect with that, to feel that energy and that excitement and connect with that feeling. That's very, very powerful. The next step is a gratitude jar. So when we are grateful, that actually takes us out of that anxiety and that stress and that fight or flight mode that we may be getting into. It was actually kind of interesting from the science. It's very hard to be in fear and gratitude at the same time. Your brain just can't do that. So when we can switch that off and go into that space, it's a really powerful space. And one of my favorite things to do in the new year is to make a gratitude jar. And so you can get a mason jar, you could go to the craft store or the thrift store or wherever and find a really cute jar that maybe resonates with you and put that in your space. In our home, we have this in the center of our home. And whenever something good happens, write it down. Write it down on a piece of paper and fold it up and put it in your gratitude jar, whatever that is. And then on New Year's Eve, you can sit down with your family, with your friends, and you can pull them out and read them. And this is a really cool, powerful practice as well to add into your routine, to have that on hand. I like that. And it's also really cool to see it fill up, right? To remember that we have so many blessings and that there are so many good things that are going on in our life. And then to go back and it's like a year in review of all of these incredible things that have happened. So that's another idea. And I'm just throwing ideas out, and take what resonates, disregard the rest with everything, right? If I'm sharing something and it resonates with you, add this in. But the gratitude jar is a very powerful tool and something that's really fun. And you can do this with your family, with your kids, with whoever's in your life. But it is a really cool practice and ritual. So Mark and I do that. And like, he'll share something with me and I'm like, oh, you got to put that in the gratitude jar. Like, that is so cool. And it's, again, fun when you are focusing on these things. That is when you will attract these miracles into your life and the healing. And these are daily practices, but something kind of cool if you want to try that out. Try out a gratitude jar. And if you do this, post, like take a picture and post it in the comments of this class. I would love to see your gratitude jars or your visions or what's coming up for you as we talk about these things in the new year. But this is very different than, white knuckling or muscling our way through these New Year's resolutions or using the will, of just really tuning into that inner wisdom and that intuition and what feels good. And I truly believe that as you connect with that intuition, that is the guiding light and space to healing. That's the lighthouse. And as a health coach, all I do is I'm a guide and I tune people into that. The answers, the true answers for what you are seeking are within. And when we do stuff like journaling and visioning and meditation, that's when they become really visible. So another idea is have a miracle book. And this has been so interesting. I've done this with my health coaching clients. I've done this with my team. And this is a really, really interesting kind of fun. We did this as an experiment, and let me tell you, we saw the miracles come in. But I got this really pretty book. It is a leather-bound book that I actually found at a little mom and pop bookstore in North Conway when we were on a family reunion. And I love all the little details on it. And it locks and it opens up and it has really pretty pages. But find something that really connects with you. Make this fun. Go on an outing, find something, pick it up, feel that energy of that. And you'll find something and you'll know which one resonates with you. And write out what you want to happen in great detail as if it's already happened. How you want things to go, what you want that to look like, what that's going to feel like in great, great detail. And I cannot tell you how many times I have gone back through and flipped that back through my miracle book, and those things have happened. And it's really neat. It's a way, there's something powerful. And again, I love visualization. I love seeing things and feeling them, but there is something really powerful about actually writing it down. It's almost like you're letting God, the universe, whatever resonates with you and speaks to you, let you know that I'm ready for this. Okay, let's partner. Let's work on this together. And then we also do the steps with that, right? I think there's a lot of people that will say to me, well, I'm praying for this to happen. And while I believe in prayer, and I think that prayer is a really powerful thing, it is one of those things where faith has feet. My trainer says that to me, Jason. Faith has feet. Or Joyce Myers talks about how God can't move a parked car. So we also take action behind those things, right? We show up and we're working towards those visions and those things, but we're also taking action coming from a place of self-love and self-worth with that. That's very powerful. So write it down and then go and implement that. And that is a really neat thing. I'm so glad that you guys are loving this. I love all the comments that are coming in. Yes, it was Zeb's. Such a cool bookstore. Bookstores are one of my happy places, guys, where I go to get grounded. And the library, quiet places, things like that. But yeah, so use your miracle book. Write those things out. Take a picture of your miracle book. When you get it, when you pick it out, when you find one that resonates with you, I want to see your pictures and write it down, and write down the date, because this is really fun too. Write down the date that you set those intentions, that you were working on creating and manifesting those things, and then go back and read it every once in a while. Go back and see what you put and see how many of those things have actually happened. It's a really, really cool exercise. So that's another one for you. So we've got our visioning exercise, our gratitude journal, which we love. And then I have a couple other exercises for you. And again, I don't want you to do everything, okay? We're talking about a lot of stuff in this class. I want you to pick one thing from this class that resonates with you and work on that. And then you can always come back and listen to this again. And then maybe you're ready to work on a different piece. But you'll know as we're going through this class which things resonate with you and which places you need to start. Okay, now we're going to, and I forgot to mention this, but use your oils with this. Use your oils, okay? Like when you're writing in your miracle book, one of my favorite oils is lemon. It's the oil of focus. So it's very uplifting, and it's a really great one when you're really focusing on your intention. You're focusing on your vision. You're writing those things out. That's such a powerful oil to pull in. Diffuse it, inhale it right out of the bottle. I love the citruses again because they're very uplifting, and lemon just has such a cleansing scent to it. But add your oils in with these. I feel like grounding, because the more that we can pull in all the senses of the body, right? We feel it, we visualize it, that it's already happened, and then we pull in that sense of smell, makes it even more powerful. So don't forget to use your oils with that. That's a really powerful one. I love that one for journaling out and having that on hand and using those tools. That's a really, really important piece. Okay, speaking of tools, one issue that comes up a lot with my health coaching clients, with the people that I work with myself, is this feeling of unworthiness. And I feel like when we really strip down a lot of the stuff that is going on in our lives, or maybe even like our New Year's resolutions or our goals, or what is the big why behind that, it's this feeling of lack or not enough, that we are not smart enough, pretty enough, skinny enough, whatever adjective you want to put in there. We're not a good enough mom, or we're not doing enough. And that is a really heavy place to be in. And it doesn't serve us. That is our inner critic. That's not us. That's not your intuition and your inner wisdom. That is the inner critic speaking. And it's important to differentiate between the two. The inner critic usually sounds like an authoritative parental figure. Wah, wah, wah. I kind of think of the Charlie Brown teacher with the inner critic. Wah, 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 wah. Okay. It's one of those. And it's there to protect us. It's part of the brain. It's letting you know, ooh, this is scary. Uh-oh, you're doing something new. I don't know if you should do this. But you'll know that it's your intuition or your inner wisdom and the path of peace and that voice that is guiding you when it's covered in grace. Okay? When it's covered in grace and it feels good and that unconditional love. So just start to know, because you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. It's very different. Okay? So start to notice this too, because as we talk about self-worth and self-confidence and self-love, the inner critic's voice starts to get really heavy and starts to come in. And what's actually really helpful is if you can give your inner critic a persona, and like make it like a cartoony persona. Mine's Pearl. She has a really big beehive hair. She's got these really long, crazy fingernails. She's got this Jersey accent. She's just over the top. That is my inner critic. So you can make your own inner critic and persona and what that looks like. And because if you don't acknowledge, that inner critic is just going to start screaming at you even louder. Okay, it's going to be like the 2-year-old throwing a temper tantrum. It's going to get crazy. So if you can say, okay, thanks, thank you, but I got this. It'll start to tune down that volume on your inner critic. So know this. This is important as we go into the next steps of what we're going to talk about. This is the deep healing work. This is the favorite piece of the health coaching work that I do with people, because yes, while nutrition is important and sleep is important and finding joy and pleasure in life and really connecting with your relationships and optimizing rest and mindful movement and stress reduction, all of these things, the emotional piece is really, really important with what we're talking about. Okay. So notice it, thank it, and let it go. But this is where we're going to get uncomfortable. So everybody stay with me. Okay? Everybody take a deep breath. It is going to be okay. Use your oils to support you. Maybe peppermint. Peppermint is the oil of a buoyant heart. It's a really nice one to kind of pull in when doing some of the work that we have here. But this is the next challenge for you. This is actually from some work with Louise Hay. I love Louise Hay. She has since left us. She is on the spiritual realm now. She's no longer earthside, but she has this really amazing book called You Can Heal Your Life. And I highly, highly, highly recommend this. But this is an exercise from her book. And in this exercise for the next month, you say over and over to yourself, I approve of myself. How does that feel? Does that feel scary? What's coming up? It's the inner critic if things are coming up, and that's okay. Notice it, thank it, and keep going forward. But she recommends to do this 300 or 400 times a day because we have to reprogram those thoughts. And that's not too many times. The more you can do it, the better with that. So when you are worrying, when you are going over your problems, saying that over and over again, I approve of myself. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. Make that your walking mantra, something that you just automatically do over and over again. It's almost nonstop. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. And again, this is guaranteed to bring up everything that's buried in your consciousness that is in opposition of this. Hello, inner critic. It's going to start coming out. Okay. How can I prove of myself if I'm this? Oh, I think I can't do this. I'm no good. Oh, I really messed up here. How can I prove of myself when that happens? Again, it's gonna come. And also know that on a healing journey, resistance is going to happen. When you are doing very important soul work, healing work, it is a law of nature that this is going to come on. Resistance is going to come. It's like gravity. And sometimes we think, oh, I have resistance, so I need to stop. That means I can't do this anymore. Resistance is telling me to stop. No, resistance is actually a good thing. And it's letting you know that you're making those changes, that you're changing your life, that you're doing the deep healing work that is required for your soul's growth. And this is scary. Yeah, Lindsay's saying, oh, this is scary. It's scary. It's okay. This is a safe space, and I'm sitting with you, and we're holding space for all of us on this healing journey. So again, know that the resistance is going to come up. That's normal. It's like gravity. It happens for everybody. But we're going to stay on this path. And I have an image that says, I approve of myself. I'll post it in our Facebook group. And that way, if you want, you could put it on your phone. Maybe you make it on your phone, so that way every time you look at your phone, you see that. And it's like, oh, I approve of myself. I approve of myself. Maybe you put that on your desktop. Maybe you write yourself sticky notes that say that, and you put it all over your house. It's in your car. It's on your bathroom mirror. It's everywhere where you're going regularly to see this. And this is really, really, really important. Okay, so try this. I know it's uncomfortable, but, and this is a really key piece too, as we go through, part of self-acceptance, and this is Louise Hay's work, these are her words, part of self-acceptance is releasing other people's opinion. Yeah. To believe that your self-worth is dependent on the shape of your body or something else is not realistic. And honestly, guys, it's not serving us. If we feel like we have to get our self-worth from other people, if we go around trying to collect those gold stars, it's never going to feel like it's enough. That all comes from within. And if we think that when we get that goal of losing 10 pounds or whatever your goal is, that will then make you happy, that's not true either. The big trick, the big piece of this healing work is being happy and being grateful with what you have now on getting to those goals. It's not really about getting to those goals. We think it is in our mind, but it's about the person that we become on the way to reaching those goals. Because this healing journey, guys, is going to change you from the inside out. You're going to be a completely different person. Whatever that is. I can tell you that my healing journey of recovering and healing from cancer and pelvic pain and Lyme disease, I'm a completely different person than when I started. And it's a hero's journey. It's not for the faint of heart, right? It's like if you sign up for this call and you're going to do the work and do this deeper healing spiritual work that we're talking about, that feels scary. That can be challenging at times. You're going to become this different person. You're going to love yourself more. You're going to show yourself a whole lot more grace and holding that space, and you're not going to be so critical on yourself anymore. You're going to build your self-confidence. This is what we're talking about. So Louise Hay says, often what we think of as the things wrong with us are only our expressions of our own individuality. And this I thought was so beautiful. This is our uniqueness. Nature never repeats itself. There are no two snowflakes that are alike, or no two raindrops that are exactly the same. Every flower is a little bit different. Our fingerprints are different. Our DNA is different. Our makeup is different. We are meant to be different. And when you can accept that, then there's no competition and there's no comparison. And she says, if we try to be like another, it's going to shrivel our soul. So this is the really important work, guys, right? Of I accept myself. I accept myself. And those differences are what make you special and what make you unique and what make you you. And we don't want to change that. So I will say with this, let me give you an oil tip as we go along on this journey. When we don't want to compare to other people, we also don't want to get our self-worth from other people, because the naysayers and stuff like that are going to come up too. So there's 2 really good oils for this, for energetic boundaries, because we're going to need some energetic boundary support in the new year, right? It's very important. So one is Melaleuca. Melaleuca emotionally is the oil of energetic boundaries. Very, very powerful oil. And then another one, On Guard, is the oil of protection. It's a protective blend. So you can use one of these, you can use both of these, you can see which one resonates with you best. But if you're going into a situation where maybe you're going to go hang out with your family and maybe they're not the most supportive of your dreams or your goals or whatever that looks like, or you know you're going to be in a situation, oil up. Oil up. Put these on the bottoms of your feet. Put these on the back of your neck. And then also over the solar plexus, which is right under the sternum. So in that area, apply your essential oils. Very, very powerful. You can inhale them, and you want to have that intention of not taking on other people's energy, almost protecting yourself, actually visualizing a shield, visualizing a protective shield there. The oils energetically and emotionally are very powerful for this. It's interesting, right? Because we often go to On Guard and Melaleuca when we're feeling under the weather, right? The pathogens in our body, the bugs, things like that. Emotionally, energetically, it works the same way. It's almost like bug off. Very, very powerful to have these on hand. So when you're coming up with opposition, when you feel like you need a little bit of support in those areas, use your oils. Grab your oils, inhale them, apply them. These are tools that can help you as you do the deeper emotional work. So that's one idea. That's one thought, is I approve of myself. Saying that over and over and over again, and reframing our subconscious mind, our thoughts, all of that. It takes time. It takes repetition, because the majority of the thoughts that you have are going on autoplay with this. So try that. I approve of myself over and over and over and over, and use the oils to help you. Use frankincense when you say that. It's the oil of truth. Ground into that. Or use lemon, the oil of focus, or peppermint, the oil of a buoyant heart. Very, very powerful when you do these things. Or use whatever oil resonates with you. There's tons of oils. There's emotional oils. Pick which one speaks to your heart and your soul and use that. There's another perspective to look at this. So you can do the 30 days. I approve of myself. Dr. Christiane Northrup, love her. Oh, so good. She has this prescription that she wrote in her book. It says, to create health today, look at yourself in the mirror, especially at the parts you don't like, and say, I accept myself unconditionally right now. And again, she says, expect critical thoughts to arise, right? The resistance is going to come up when we do this. Accept those too. Again, say thank you. Thank you. I know you're just trying to protect me, but I got this. And in 30 days, your body image will be transformed. So I want you to take which one resonates with you best. If it feels best for you to say, I approve of myself, or I love myself, use that word. Use those words and that terminology. If it feels best to say, I accept myself unconditionally right now, do that. But it's another piece of looking at it, right? This is a 30-day challenge. So I would love if you're open to do this with us and try it out, because this is the really, really powerful piece of the work that we're doing. Okay, next we're going to talk about something else that can also be a little scary. So hang with me. Have this on hand. I'm loving seeing all of these comments. I'm so glad that you guys are finding value for this and that this information is helpful and timely for you. Yes, this is where we shake off the energy. And you see how almost, I think, this can be a little bit more challenging, right? Telling yourself that you love yourself or you approve of yourself multiple times throughout the day, that might be a little bit more challenging than drinking 8 glasses of water. But this can completely transform and change your life. So very powerful stuff that we're talking about. This is the really fun stuff that I love to talk about. Okay, we are now going to talk about forgiveness. Whoo, forgiveness of others and then forgiveness of ourselves, because we want to transition into this new year, releasing anything that feels heavy. And if you don't know if you need to forgive somebody, this exercise, I have 2 exercises for you coming up that may bring up something. And it's going to maybe resonate with you a little bit. Okay, Callie says, saying it is much easier than believing it. This is true, but our thoughts and our words become things. So this is again why we're saying those things 300, 400 times a day, to reprogram our thoughts. Because when we reprogram our thoughts, we actually start to believe and transform our lives. It takes practice, it takes time. Just like with whatever profession you're at, you didn't just get there overnight. It took practice and time and dedication. Same thing with our healing. It's very powerful. Okay, as we move into the forgiveness section, everybody hang tight with me. I know this is hard and scary, but hang tight. Deep breaths, everybody. Deep breaths as we move into this section. Now, there is an oil that I really like for this. Specifically, it's Breathe. Breathe is the oil of breath. And emotionally, it's really connected in with grief as well, or just when we feel overwhelmed in life, we often feel like we can't take a breath. That's the first thing that kind of shuts down when we're stressed out, when we have fear, whatever that is. And it's the opposite, right? We need to breathe for life. Breath brings life. And so as we take that deep breath, get your breathe out, guys. Go grab it if you have it. Or another good oil, Forgive. Hashtag there's an oil for that. And inhale your breathe. You can also apply it. I learned this tip from Desiree Mangdog. She's an acupuncturist. The elbow crease, right there where your elbow crease is, that's a meridian point for lung and heart, which is often related to grief. So just put it on, guys. Inhale, breathe, apply it there. This is a really good one. Or if this is coming up for you, another good oil, deep blue, is the oil of surrendering pain. We often think of it for physical pain, but you can also inhale this and use this for emotional support. So either one, whichever one resonates with you, or grab your favorite oil. And here we go. So this is also from the You Can Heal Your Life book with Elise Hay. Get this book. It is really, really good. And there is an old Emmett Fox exercise for dissolving resentment. And we're going to do this together. So he recommends that you sit quietly, you close your eyes, you allow your mind and body to relax. So if you're in a space where you can do so, deep breath in, close your eyes and breathe out. And you're going to imagine yourself sitting in a darkened theater, and in front of you is a small stage. On that stage, I want you to place the person that you resent the most. It could be someone in the past or present. It could be somebody living or dead. But when you see this person, clearly visualize good things happening to this person. Things that would be meaningful to him or her. See him or her smiling and happy. Hold this image for a few minutes. And then I want you to slowly let it fade away. And as this person leaves the stage, now you can put yourself up there. You go up on the stage. And I want you now to see good things happening to you. See yourself smiling. See yourself happy. See the abundance coming into your life. This abundance of the universe that is available to all of us. Deep breath in and release it. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Powerful, right? Really, really powerful. So this is something that helps to dissolve those dark clouds of resentment that we carry. And forgiveness hurts us. It's not hurt. Forgiveness doesn't hurt us. Unforgiveness hurts us. There we go. And it doesn't hurt the other person if we hold a grudge or we're mad or we carry all this resentment and our heart is heavy, right? It hurts us. And so we forgive not for that other person, but for ourselves. And forgiveness also doesn't mean that what they did was okay. Forgiveness means that we are no longer going to carry that baggage and that weight and that hurt and that heaviness with us anymore. And so I felt like that's such a powerful exercise to visualize the person that you have the most resentment towards and see good things coming to them. And then seeing good things coming to yourself. And this can be very difficult to do. So if you're having difficulty with this, please, again, show yourself a lot of love and grace with this. It's okay. Each time that you do it, you may get a different person. Okay? You may see different people pop up on there into that place. That's okay. But do it once a day for a month. And again, choose one of these exercises. If the forgiveness one is really feeling that's being called to your heart, do this one. But do it once a day for a month, and you're going to start to feel lighter, and you're going to start to feel free, and use your oils to help you. Again, I love Breathe to help you take a breath and hold space for that, but also Deep Blue or any of those others. Those are all good too. Okay. How are we feeling? We lost Insta, but that's okay. Okay. Now, there's one more forgiveness exercise. So if that one didn't resonate with you, I've got another one because I like having options. And I think it's powerful to have other ways of doing things. So when we're ready to forgive, right, we're coming to this place, we're talking a lot about this. This is an exercise that ideally, if you can do this with a partner and do it out loud, that's going to be best. But if you can't do that, you can do it by yourself. You can do this quietly, but maybe get an accountability partner or somebody or a spouse or somebody to help you with this. But you're going to sit quietly with your eyes closed and you're going to say, the person I need to forgive is, and then state their name. And I forgive you for. Okay. Powerful to say this out loud. You can write it out if you need to, but do this over and over, and you may find that these things will come up, that many things to forgive. There may be multiple things there for some, and for some it may just be like 2 or 3. But get those out. And if you have a partner or somebody that is doing this exercise with you, let that person say to you, thank you. I set you free now. If you don't have somebody, then imagine that that person that you're saying those things to is saying that to you. And do this for 5 or 10 minutes. Search your heart for all of those injustices that you carry and let them go. Okay? When you've cleared as much as you can, turn your attention to yourself. And say out loud to yourself, I forgive myself for. Or this could be a really powerful journaling exercise. Do this for 5 minutes. And these are really powerful exercises and good to do at least once a week to clear out any of that heaviness. And some of the experiences are easy to let go. And others may take some time. But again, show yourself some grace with this. That is really, really powerful. And what's interesting is as you're doing this, right, I need to forgive so-and-so, and I forgive you for, and I forgive you for, you start to kind of tap into that subconscious of all of these things that are coming up, right? Things that you may have like forgotten, but then they start to like come to the surface. And this is like clearing out the trash. Like we clean out our closets, we take out the trash and the garbage from our home. We're doing that in our subconscious right now. And I can't take credit for these exercises. They're actually from this book. They were two really powerful ones that I thought would really resonate. And then again, I love to incorporate the work with the essential oils to help support us so that as we go into the new year, it doesn't feel so heavy. It doesn't feel so bogged down with baggage and with the tough stuff. Okay, one more little mini thought and then we'll close because our hour's almost up, guys. Can you believe it? There's so much more that I want to share. We're going to have to do more classes on this. This is one of my most passionate things. And if you guys are liking this topic, let me know. I really love to give people tools to tune into their intuition and their inner wisdom and share things that I found really valuable along my healing journey. We may continue this and pick this back up in February, right? Because we're always growing and evolving and healing. But there's some really good questions because I think so many times people feel like the answers are outside of us and they're actually within. And we often are not quiet or allow our time for ourselves to really go to that place. So here's a couple questions that you may just write down, and it could be something that you could think about. You actually need to get quiet. You need to have some space and some quiet time. But these might be really good questions to ponder or think about in the new year. When this problem is solved, what is different? And these are questions I should point out from Brooke Castillo. I really, really like Brooke Castillo. If you guys don't follow her already, she's pretty incredible. And she has the Life School podcast, the Life Coach School podcast. It's really good. So when this problem is solved, what is different? What would I do if I knew what to do? Oh, isn't that a good one? Journal that one out. So powerful. What does my future self, who is already there and successful, need to do? How is this situation for me and not against me? What could I do if I could not fail? Or what would I do? Excuse me. What would I do if I could not fail? Some really powerful stuff there. So lots of things that we talked about, lots of tools. Use your oils as we go through this. Pick one exercise. That may be the gratitude jar. That may be the miracle book. That may be the I approve of myself or one of the forgiveness exercises. Pick one thing and start there. Use your oils to help you. Frankincense is the oil of truth. Really great for meditation, visualizing, quiet time. Lavender is the oil of communication. So maybe when you do those forgiveness exercises to kind of help you use that throat chakra and speak your truth and speak your voice and communicate those things. Lemon is the oil of focus. So if you really want to dive into these things, focusing, journaling, that would be a good one to use. We talked about Melaleuca and On Guard. Melaleuca is the oil of energetic boundaries, and On Guard is the oil of protection. If you need grounding, if you need protection and feel that, maybe just to feel more confident, because I know some of this work is scary, use that to help you as you do this work. Oregano is the oil of humility and non-attachment. Good stuff. Peppermint, the oil of a buoyant heart. So if you need that little space and that support, that's a really beautiful one. Breathe, as we talked about, the oil of breath. If you feel like you just need to take a breath in life, anything like that, that's a really powerful one. Digestion, oil of digestion. And what's interesting is this emotionally is for overwhelm. When we bite off more than we can chew. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like, it's the new year and there's just too much, inhale some digestion. And then deep blue is the oil of surrendering pain, because we want to walk into the new year feeling fresh, feeling supported, all of those things. I hope that you guys found this class helpful, valuable, supporting you on your wellness journey. This is the work that I really love to do. I mean, I love it all in the health and wellness space, but this is the stuff that, it really lights up my soul. Also talking about self-care, the very, very powerful, deep inner work. So use your oils. If you're new to oils, if you don't have oils already, reach out to me. I'd love to help and support you and bring you along this health and wellness journey. If you are finding value from this, please, if you haven't already, go and like my Facebook page, facebook.com/Dr. Laura Ricci. Go and give it a like and you'll be notified of future events and classes. If you need some one-on-one support in your life, if you want more individualized support from some of the things that we talked about to go deeper, my website is lauraricci.vpweb.com. You can go there. We can learn more. We also have a podcast with my bestie, Hillary. She's on live today too. It's a Two Curls on Oil podcast. And we have our January podcast is coming up. It's going to be next week on January 15th at 7 p.m. Central Time. So mark your calendars if you want to learn more from us. It's facebook.com/Two Curls on Oil. We are having a giveaway. So I want you to think about, what is your word for 2019? If you had to pick one word, and put some thought into this, if you haven't done it already yet, post your word and say, my word for 2019 is, for me, I chose abundance. Abundance in health, abundance, financial abundance, health, healing, all of the things. That is so, so powerful. So post your word and you're going to be entered into the giveaway. And what is the giveaway? I'm going to be giving away this book. I'm going to be giving away the Kindle version of this book because I want you to have it on your phone and I want you to be able to access it anywhere, anytime, and having that place. So we will leave this open for a week. So until next Friday, the 18th let's announce it in the morning. So around 11 a.m. Central Time, we will announce the winner. So this is going to be Kindle. If you're international, it actually won't let me gift a book, but I'll send you a gift card for the amount of the book so that you can purchase it. You might have to do it that way. But I want you to have this book because it's been such a piece of my healing journey. So post your word. Let me know what your word is. My word is abundance. The replay for this class is going to be up until January 31st at 5 p.m. Central Time. So make sure that you watch. You can take as many notes as you want. You can watch it as many times as you want before the end of the month when it comes down, and have that on hand. I'll post all of these links and this stuff too. This is going to be really good. I love hearing your words. So beautiful. So much fun. Okay. Thank you guys for being here, or thank you if you're watching the replay. And if you start to implement some of these tips, again, I want you to start with just one. I don't want it to feel overwhelming or heavy, but pick just one. Tag me. Post below in the comments. Take a picture and post there, or let us know what you're doing. We can all do it together. I really want to know. I love to see what you're doing and how these classes are helping you. And I will see you guys next month for another health and wellness class. And maybe we'll just expand on some of this healing work. There was some really positive feedback over on the Facebook page that this is helpful, which always warms my heart and is so powerful. So I love that. And we got a couple people watching on Zoom too, Callie and Catherine. So thank you guys for tuning in over on Zoom. So let me know. And thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm sending you each so much love and light and healing for you in the new year. Take care, everybody. Bye.